Hey, fat butts. What are you doing? Are you ready to go home? You stay, fat butts. So, this is the load that's taking us to Ordeal. Some pallets. This is sketch. We can't tighten it down. We already broke one pallet. At least it's not going that far.
On next on back.
Yeah. So that's it. We're gonna start working again because they just came off a break, so it's gonna get stupid loud.
Going home.
Hopefully this don't fall off of our trailer.
I think it's off an entire tire width of the tractor. I wonder if he eats on tires. Good morning. It's the next day. We thought we could make it to the drop yesterday. Paperwork said that they would unload us up till 4 o'clock. GPS said we should get there at like 3:45. We end up hitting some traffic, so we end up going home for the night. It's now about 7:15 in the morning. We should get there at like 8:30. I think they start unloading at 8, I hope. So it'll just burn up a little bit of today. Let me see, Thursday. So all my belts and stuff came in. I've got my oil sitting at the house. The new AC control panel came in. So I want to do the oil, I want to do the belts. The brake chambers aren't going to be here till Tuesday. I put a post on Instagram about a valve leaking. And I noticed when I was back there adjusting my brakes that day, when I noticed that valve was leaking, I noticed one of the brake chambers, if I moved the rod around, that it seemed like it was leaking air. That's the whole reason I ordered the brake chambers, because I was like, these things might be wore out. I know you can rebuild them, blah blah blah. I've watched some videos on rebuilding them, but I bought the brake chambers for like $15 a piece plus shipping off of eBay. So I'm like, man, we can't beat that. So that's what we're gonna do anyways. People also mentioned that there was an O-ring up in this valve that leaks for some reason. When I take my parking brake off, air just blows out of it. So people mentioned that it might be a bad O-ring, or it might be a couple of people mentioned it might be a brake chamber. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that O-ring out. It's raining today, obviously, since I'm home, it's gonna rain. I might pull that O-ring out and look at that O-ring, maybe clean up, see if that fixes the problem, and then maybe do the brake chambers next time we come home. Because I plan on trying to kind of run local and be home every weekend, because we're gonna start getting this house ready to sell. I know I've said that a few hundred times now, but we need to really get on it now. So that's the plan. What else do we have to do? Oh, I need to check to see when our shocks are coming in. Put the shocks on the trailer. Man, but I think that's mostly it. I might wire up a toggle switch for the AC air compressor if the AC panel doesn't fix it. That way I don't have to, because like I said, I have a wire running to my compressor to where every time I turn my fog lights on, that turns my air compressor on for my air conditioner. So if the AC control panel doesn't fix it, I might just put in a toggle switch so I don't have to run around with my lights on all the time. Anyways, we got about an hour and 15 minutes now to get there, so we'll see you there in a bit.
The storm is coming, but I'm prepared. I'll be gone for a while, but don't be scared. Right now, I don't know if I'll ever arrive. Where the grass is green, we're still alive. I hope I'll see you on the other side. I know that I'll be paying for the ride into the black hole. Sing for my soul through the black hole to make my
So typical trucking, the address is wrong, and the number they tell you to call, nobody answers. So we think we passed the place, but it's a different address. So the company name in the yellow pages is the number's disconnected, and the number that's on the BOL, nobody answers. You think we should just double back?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's the same name that's on the BOL, but it's a different address. So when we passed it, I was like, well, maybe they have a different yard that they want this dropped at. Problem is, there's nothing here.
want the truth and you're having doubts. But if I tell you now, the sun dies out. 'Cause I can only give you my heart. When the darkest clouds begin to part, I hope I see you on the other side. I know that I'll be paying for the ride into the black hole.
All right, here's a quick update. We've got the new shocks on. Some of these shocks, I mean, they didn't even have the rubber. They had the rubber bushing in there, but it was so messed up. The back ones were super bad. Look at that. Look how that's going in by hand.
I'll just tell them that you're not supposed to be able to do it by hand.
Yeah, that's definitely wore out. These weren't so bad, but we went ahead and replaced them all. I didn't record any of this because I want to be able to monetize this. And if I would have recorded it, you would have heard a bunch of cussing and Rays and Kane. I thought I was going to have to cut all the bolts off. Went and got all new bolts. those bolts were definitely seized on there on that shock, or that strut there. Had to cut those off. But Nate, being the OG that he is, was able to break all the other bolts loose. That was the first one I started at, and I was like, oh man, they're all gonna be bad. So we got all those replaced there and up there with all new hardware. My brake chambers aren't gonna be here till Tuesday. We have to take Fat Butts in Monday to see the vet to see about getting another tumor cut off. So maybe I'll stick around till Tuesday and throw these brake chambers on and then head out from there. Because I know for sure that one's bad. And I think that's why maybe this is leaking. Maybe I'll go ahead and take that apart. You guys told me there's an O-ring up in there that needs to be cleaned and lubed. So maybe I'll do that. Clean up this mess. Alright guys, good morning. It is Tuesday morning. Afternoon. Something like that. So over the weekend we put new struts on the trailer. Late yesterday, my brake chambers got delivered. I've got my air tanks open, so I got to close them because I wasn't thinking. Hold on. All right. So anyways, we've got 2 new brake chambers on the back. I'm just airing everything up. I want to double check to make sure everything's going to be right, because I had to cut these rods down a little bit. According to my old brake chambers, I had to cut off about that much of the new brake chambers. So I just want to double check on these back 2 before I replace the front 2 to make sure I didn't measure something wrong. So, and then I've ordered some 3-way valves to attempt to put a dump valve in this, so I can dump the back axle. So the first one came and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. So I figured it was a dud. So I ordered a new one, another one, and I thought it was a normally on. Basically what I wanted was I wanted to be able to push the button to make it dump. And the way that this one was set up was you had to keep the button on in order to keep your bags filled. And I wanted to make it to where if there was a problem with the wiring, I would always have air in my bags. So I ordered another one. That one was wrong too, so I got online. You got to take them apart and swap them around. I'm still not 100% sure that that's going to work. So anyways, I'm not going to do a tutorial on how this is done, because honestly I don't even know if I'm doing it right. So anyways, I just want to give you guys an update. Let me see what's going on. Sounds like I got an air leak from somewhere, and we'll get this thing figured out. All right, so the air leak was because I cut the line but forgot to install the valve. So that's fixed. Anyways, let me get back to work. Seems like that I made an Instagram post about a valve under here leaking, and somebody mentioned that it might be one of the brake chambers. So far it's not leaking, so it's looking like it was a brake chamber. Alright guys, I am super excited about this. Alright, so check this out. I've got this thing temporarily mocked up just to make sure. I've got a old car battery sitting here because I didn't want to have to run this wire all the way to the front. That is where I have the 3-way valve. I bought that off of Amazon for like 23 bucks. And you want to put that after the leveling valve. And I had to switch. Like I said, this thing is normally, I think, closed, and you want it normally open. So I had to switch some guts. If you guys want a video on that, just let me know. But I've got it temporarily mocked up here. And I've got these wires running here. So basically, when you energize this thing, let me see if I can put this thing somewhere. Hold on. Alright, so when you energize this thing, it'll open that valve and dump air out into this. Alright? Check this out. And it deflates these rear bags. And then if you take the wires off, like you turn the button off up front, fills the bags back up. Tell me that's not exciting. All right, guys, we are all done. Check it out, all new brake chambers. We put new airbags a couple of months ago. We got new struts all the way around. All I got to do now is run the wires for the dump valve, and then fix the wiper blade, and we are good for another week, another trip, and then yeah. Oh, we got our V-pole in too, finally. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I ordered this about 3 months ago through Mighty Products. And FedEx lost it. So I called Mighty and I was like, hey, look, it's been like a month. It's saying it's lost. They're like, okay, we'll get it out to you. And then we got home the other day and I noticed it still wasn't here, and I called them up and they're like, oh yeah, we forgot to ship it. So they must have like overnighted it. So what's that rattle in this? Yeah. All right, let me get this cleaned up. Got to get this wire ran.